Hi, I'm Tom Collins. I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona Citizens Clean Elections Commission. The commission, which was passed by voters in 1998, is the state of Arizona's voter education agency. So our job is to help voters connect with the issues and candidates that matter to them. But you know, elections aren't just in big presidential years or gubernatorial years. Elections happen in Arizona in localities throughout the year. And so we're here in the town of Chino Valley to talk about their May 21st election, where voters will be deciding two very important ballot questions. One related to how to fix the roads here in Chino Valley and how to pay for it, and the other relating to how authorizing the town to get involved in purchasing water companies and why they want to do that. You know, it's important that folks be aware of their local elections. They can always check out our website to look for elections around the state. But without further ado, let's talk to Mayor Croft and Town Manager Grittman about these town of Chino Valley issues. Mayor Croft and Town Manager Grittman, you've both been in office about 2 years now in your respective offices. Tell me a little bit about how you started to develop these two questions. One's about a property tax for roads, and one's about acquiring water utilities.
When I was elected mayor and Cecilia was appointed as town manager, we started a process of going out and having meetings with our citizens and asking them what they really like, how they like us to spend their money on projects for the town. Probably, there were three of them, but probably number one was roads. The roads need to be repaired.
Talk to me a little bit about why this is an election that's important for everybody in the town, whether you're for or against these questions.
Well, naturally, when you look at our roads, especially after the last big storm we had, the snowstorm, they're deteriorating. They haven't been repaired in a long time. So we're to the point now that we have to stand up and say, okay, it's time. We have to do it now. We need your support. Do you, as citizens, want us to fix your roads? But to do that, we need the money. We have the staff. We have the expertise to do that, but we need the money to actually put on the roads themselves.
What do you hope to sort of take away from the election? I mean, when you get the results, you'll look if two questions have been successful, if they haven't been successful. I mean, is that something you'll then analyze, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it will be. We don't have a property tax here in Chino Valley, so this is sort of a barometer, I guess, on the community's taste for having additional taxation. Yeah. And so it's the first time it's ever been proposed by any council in our community to do a property tax.
Sure. So whether you like it or you don't like it, voting is going to send a signal to this city, the town government. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think after Election Day, if the voters were to approve both questions, would be the next step?
So the next step, if they approve both questions, would be first on the roads would be to immediately go out for bid for getting our first set of chip sealing done and road improvements. And then we will look at continuing long-term planning on what we're going to do for our roads and improving the road maintenance program. We have it in conceptual form now, but we'll have to firm up some of the details from there. Secondly, on the utilities, we have had interest from different utility companies to sell their utility companies. We'll continue down that path on ones that make more sense to us if they're still interested.
With respect to the water company issue, talk a little bit about that. My understanding is a couple of decades ago, voters in Chino Valley were eager to let the town get into that business, and there's some potential advantages there. What do you see as what that process looks like?
Okay, so water in Chino Valley is very complicated. We're in the Prescott Active Management area, and I don't think a lot of our citizens, a lot of them are on exempt wells, and I don't think they understand the importance of the utility companies located within our corporate boundaries. We have 5 different water companies in our corporate boundaries. They offer us the opportunity from an economic development standpoint to extend maybe utilities to some of our commercial corridor areas so that we can have some economic development. Some of the other utility companies are more strategically placed, and that would allow a cheaper way of delivering economic development as opposed to us running parallel lines through our system.
So, Mayor Croft, what do you think are some of the next steps? Say both questions pass. What do you see as some of
I think we're ready to actually start construction on some of the roads. Our town manager, our town engineer, public works director is already putting together some contract proposals. And we plan to, if it passes, the road passes, we're going to start building right away. As far as the water goes, it's kind of a housekeeping thing. We need permission if one of these water systems becomes available that we can purchase it and put it into our system.
Gotcha. So what do you see as the best way for voters to stay involved and in touch with the town about the details of these questions?
Well, we have been doing outreach. We've been doing,
Probably about 50 different outreaches that we've done between radio and
talking about it. Radio, we have our staff talk about it every time we have a council meeting. We have a session on a council meeting because we do have videotape.
Sure.
We are on TV.
Sure. And the town website is a
town website, Facebook. So we have a lot of social media.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me today and having us here. And like I said at the beginning, the Clean Elections Commission, like you, really thinks it's valuable for folks to get out and vote, regardless of whether they're for or against something or for or against a candidate. These elections have meaningful outcomes for communities, and we thank you for your time.
We hope our people vote, our citizens vote. That will give us a good indication of where we can go and what we can do in the future.